For today's class, we're going to need a blanket, a block, and a strap. So let's start with our blanket, or if you have a large towel, that will work. So let's roll it up so it's a little more compact. And then we're going to put that on the mat underneath our shoulder blades. So find a nice comfortable spot. So this will just give us a nice gentle opening of the chest. And then you can have your legs straight, or if you'd like, you can have your feet together, knees wide. In today's class, we're going to really focus on opening the front of the body, the chest, the front of the shoulders, hip flexors, because when those areas are tight, the shoulders tend to round and the lower back tends to round when the hip flexors are tight. So we really want to open those areas up. So we'll focus on that. And then also we're going to be doing some strengthening of the back and core, because that will also help us really keep our posture straight and aligned. So that's another focus for this class. So we'll just settle into this nice gentle heart opener and prepare ourselves for the rest of the practice. Okay, let's bring our knees together and roll off of our blanket or towel and just remove that. And we'll come onto our backs for just a moment. Bring your knees together just to settle the spine back down. Then let's make our way up to hands and knees. And we're going to strengthen our back to help with our posture. So we're going to lift the right leg and the left arm. And we're going to crunch and then extend. So crunch and extend. And try to keep your foot flexed and rotated toward the ground so your hip is not open, it's square to the ground. So we're crunching and then extending. Crunch, exhale, and inhale, extend. And then here we're going to hold it for 5 breaths. This will be some balance moves and strengthening here. So it's always good to strengthen the back for good posture as well as opening the front. And keep your gaze on one spot to help with your balance. And then we'll bring our right knee and left hand down. And then we're going to bring our left leg straight and right arm out. And then we're going to crunch. Exhale in, elbow to knee, extend, crunch, extend, crunch, extend, crunch, and extend. One more, crunch. Then we're going to extend out. And we're going to hold here for another 5 breaths. Can be a little balance challenge here. And then let's bring our right hand down and left knee down. We're going to do some cat-cows. So inhale up to cow, and then exhale to cat, rounding the back and lowering your head. Inhale, lift the tailbone and head. exhale, extend. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Okay, let's come back to neutral. Then we're going to come into a puppy pose. So stretch your arms way out in front of you. Try to keep your hips over your knees. And then melt your chest towards the floor. Now you can put your head on a block if that's more comfortable, or your head on the floor. Or if you can, maybe your chin or your chest might even reach the floor. We're going to just melt into this. It's also called melting heart. So this is excellent for the front of the shoulders and the chest and the throat. Okay, let's come back up to hands and knees. And we're going to do a little bit more strengthening, and we're going to come into a plank pose. So have your wrists underneath your shoulders, push up on your back so you're not concaving in. You want a strong back, a strong body. Have your hips low so you're in a nice line. And then just hold here. This can be quite the challenge, but this is great for your entire core area. Actually, this works your whole body, but this is excellent for core strength that will help you have a better posture. If you're shaking, that means you're making new muscles. And come back into down dog. Good job. Just hold here for a moment and stretch that out. Okay, then make your way to the top of the mat. Let's step up. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to rise, hands together, and hands to heart center. I'm going to inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. We're going to jump or step back and take a chaturanga. Inhale, up dog, and then exhale, back to down dog. And we'll just hold this for a few breaths. Allow the back of the body to open up. And we'll jump or step to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise. Then we'll do that 2 more times. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, back. Jump or step back. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And then exhale, back to down dog. And jump or step to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise. Then one more time. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, jump or step back. Take your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale back to down dog. Okay, inhale from the mat, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to rise. And hands to heart center. Okay, we're going to inhale into a chair pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Jump or step back and take your vinyasa. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back to down dog. We're going to lift the right leg up and step between the hands. We're going to come into a warrior A. Lift the arms up and then hook your thumbs together and kind of pull on those like you're trying to break them apart. And then bring your arms back as far as you can to really open up the front of the chest and the shoulders. We're going to hold this for 5 breaths. Then exhale, hands down. Take your vinyasa. We'll meet in down dog. We'll lift the left leg up and step between the hands for warrior A. Then hook your thumbs the opposite direction when you bring your hands up. Really try to pull those apart and lean your arms back as far as you can. Really open up the front of the body. Then exhale, hands down. Take your vinyasa. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, back to down dog. Okay, jump or step up to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. And exhale to rise. Inhale, back up to chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, jump or step back, taking your vinyasa. And we'll meet in down dog. Let's lift our right leg up and step between the hands for warrior A again, but this time we're going to do goalpost arms. So bring your arms up and then bend your elbows and really reach your chest forward as much as you can. And then exhale, hands down. Take your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And we'll do the left leg. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands, foot between the hands. Warrior A. And we'll come into goalpost arms on this side. Maybe you can get a little bit deeper into this. Really feel the chest opening. Sink into your hips. And then exhale, hands down. Take your vinyasa. We'll meet in down dog. Jump or step to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. And exhale to rise. Hands to heart center. Okay, inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Jump or step back, take your vinyasa, and we'll meet in down dog. Okay, we'll inhale and lift the right leg up and bend and open the hip. And then we'll go ahead and step up between the hands and come into warrior two. Now, if you need a strap, go ahead and grab that now. We're going to come into cow-faced arms. So we're going to lift the left arm up and bend, and then try to reach behind with the right arm. And if you can, grab your, clasp your hands together, but if not, go ahead and use that strap to make it easier. And this will be a nice opening for the front of the shoulders. And open up the front of the chest. And just sink into your hips and really feel that nice opening up. And then go ahead and release your strap or your hands. Come into warrior two for a second. Then we'll inhale, reverse. And then exhale, come into side angle. And you can put your hand on the floor, maybe your elbow on your knee. Or if you can, go ahead and bind it up and really open up the chest and twist open towards the ceiling. This is excellent for opening up the chest and the hips. Then inhale back up to warrior two, reverse, then exhale, take a vinyasa, and we'll meet in down dog. Okay, inhale, lift the left leg up, bend and open your hip. This is a nice opening for the hip flexor. And then exhale, step between the hands, and we'll come into warrior two on the left. And then we'll bring the right arm up and the left hand behind and try to clasp the hands or use your strap if you can't reach. Don't try to force it, but you just want a nice opening so you feel some sensation there. Then sink down into the hips. Then go ahead and release the arms to come into warrior two, reverse, and then we'll come into side angle. So whatever variation you did on the other side, maybe bind it. You might need your block here. Then rotate your chest open towards the side. Okay, then inhale back up, warrior two, reverse, then we'll exhale down and take a vinyasa. Inhale up dog, exhale back to down dog. From here, we're going to do a little more core strengthening. So this time we're going to do a forearm plank. So have your forearms shoulder width apart. Try to lower your hips so your whole body is in a straight line. And then we'll just hold here for 10 breaths. You'll probably start shaking, but that's good. It means you're developing new muscles. Just breathe into it. We're almost there. Okay, come back up into down dog. Take a breath. Maybe shake it out. Then we'll come up to the front of the mat, jumper step. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise. Hands to heart center. From here, we're going to take a nice balancing pose, a tree. So go ahead and put your weight on the left foot and bring your right foot up as high as you can onto the left thigh. And try to rotate that right knee out. And you can have your hands in heart prayer, or you can raise them up and maybe look up for a little more balance. And just stay strong on that left foot. If this is too much, you can always keep your toes on the floor. As long as you don't have your foot on your knee, any other spot on your leg is fine. You just don't want to push your kneecap out of place. Okay, let's exhale back to hands prayer and then release that foot. Okay, we'll do the other side. So the weight will be on your right foot and you'll bring your left foot in. And you'll have your hands either in prayer or you can reach up and look up. And try to rotate that left knee out for a little bit of hip opening here. This is really good for learning what's a good balance for your body. So when you're in a poor posture, you tend to slouch and your center of gravity is not where it should be. So these balancing poses are really good. Okay, let's exhale out and shake it out a little bit. So we're also going to come into a twisted chair here. So come into chair, and then we'll bring our hands to heart center, and then we're going to rotate over to the left. So you're going to hook your left elbow around your right knee. And try to push into that and inhale, lift your chest, and then exhale, rotate. So it's really good to rotate the spine in all directions. So we'll just hold this for a few breaths. And then we'll inhale back to center, and exhale, we'll take the right elbow outside the left knee. And you could spread your hands here if you wanted to have your one arm on the floor and the other arm reaching up. It's nice to have prayer hands too, just to give you a little more push. Then inhale back to center and straighten the legs. Good job. Okay, inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, jumper step back. Take your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale back to down dog. From here, we'll lift the left leg up, bend and open the hip. You can stay there, or if you'd like to flip it over into wild thing, you can do that. So it'll be a nice arching of the entire front of the body, getting the nice stretch there, arching the back. And then go ahead and flip it over, and if you're in wild thing, try to get that right foot up to the front of the mat without touching it down, and come into warrior two. So this one will just sink into it, have strong arms, have the outside of the left foot pressing down into the mat. And then we're going to come into half moon. So lift off your left leg and put your right fingertips to the floor and lift your left arm up. For more balance, you can look down, but if you'd like to challenge yourself, you can look to the side or up. Just make sure that left foot is rotated to the side. You want your hips open and your chest open. Okay, and we're going to come back to Warrior 2. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, we'll come into side angle one more time. So maybe you can get a little deeper this time. So whatever variation works for your body. Okay, inhale back to Warrior 2. Exhale your hands down and take your vinyasa. And we'll meet in down dog. We'll lift the left leg up, bend and open the hip. You can stay here or take Wild Thing on this side. So flip on over if you're taking that option and really reach that chest up toward the ceiling. And then try to flip it back around and get that left foot to the front of the mat and come into Warrior 2. We'll just sink down into this. Strong arms. And then we're going to kick up into half moon. So have your left hand on the floor, right arm up, flex your right foot toward the side, and look to the ground, the side, or up, depending on your balance today. Just focus really on getting your chest and your hips open to the side here. If you want to test your balance, you can bring your fingertips off of the floor. We're going to come into Warrior 2 again for a breath. Inhale, reverse. Then exhale back to side angle on this side. Whatever variation works for you. Okay, release, come back to Warrior 2, and then take your vinyasa. And exhale back to down dog. Take a breath here. Then we'll jump or step up to the front of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise. Then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, jump or step back. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back to down dog. Let's lift the right leg up and step between the hands. Come into Warrior 2. And then we'll step up and come into half moon again. Keep your balance. Keep your right hand on the floor if you like. And if you would like to go a little further, you can grab your left leg with your hand for a nice back bend here, which opens up the front of the body and the hip flexor. It's easier to look down to keep your balance on this one. If you have your foot, gently release it, and then we'll come back into Warrior Two. Reverse. And then we'll come into side angle again. So whatever modification for side angle, maybe your hand on the floor, maybe you're binding. And then go ahead and come up to Warrior Two. And exhale, hands down, and take your vinyasa. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back to down dog. And we'll lift our left leg up and step between the hands. Come into Warrior Two on this side. And we'll hold that for a few breaths. Okay, step on up to half moon, or perhaps you'd like to try full moon. And you can grab your top leg with your hand and reach back for a nice back bend here. And then go ahead and gently release that. Then we'll come back into Warrior Two. And we'll reverse. And then we'll come into side angle again. Whatever modification you did on the other side, go ahead and take that on this side. Just make sure you try to rotate your chest open and not towards the floor. Then inhale back up to Warrior Two. And exhale, take your vinyasa. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back to down dog. From here, we'll jump or step to the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to rise. And hands to heart center. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, jump or step back and take your chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And exhale, back to down dog. And from here, we're going to step our right foot up and bring our left knee down for a nice hip flexor stretch called dragon. So you can put your hands on the floor, blocks, or maybe your knee, whatever works best for you. But try to stretch that left leg back as much as you can and really sink into the hips so you get that nice opening in the front of the hip. It's important to stretch out the hip flexors for a good posture, as we tend to sit too much, so this really opens up the front of the hips. Okay, let's release this. Go back into down dog for a moment. Shake it out. Then we'll step up with our left foot and bring our right knee down. And really stretch that right knee back. Sink into it and feel that nice opening. If you have tight hip flexors, it tends to rotate your hips under so it rounds your lower back. So that's why we like to open up the front of the hips. Okay, let's release this and step back into down dog. Shake it out if you need to. Then we're going to come to the floor on our belly and do a couple of locusts. So let's have our hands behind us, flat on the floor, and then lift your upper chest and then lift your feet up for a good strengthening in the back and opening in the chest. And look down and not too far ahead so you don't crink your neck, but we want all the lift to come from the chest and the back of the body. And relax and use your hands as a pillow for your forehead. Might want to shake your hips side to side. Then we're going to do that again. So go ahead and interlace your hands this time and lift up and lift your feet up as far as you can. This is really great for strengthening the back of the body. And relax. Let's rest your head again. And then we're going to take a bow pose. So if you can, go ahead and reach back for your ankles. And then we're going to lift up again as far as you can. And release. Go ahead and rest one more time, and then we're going to do one more bow pose. Okay, go ahead and reach back, and you can take your ankles from the inside or the outside. If you go on the inside, it's a little more opening for the shoulders. Then inhale and lift up for your strongest back bend. And release. Good job. Now I want to shake your hips out. Then we'll come up into a seat for a nice twist. So straighten your leg out and bring your right leg over, foot flat. And if you would like to, you can bend your left leg and bring it around. So you have your right hand behind you, and then inhale, lift your arm up, and then hook your elbow outside of your right knee. And then we're wanting to lift here on the inhale and then twist on the exhale. And then you can look wherever is comfortable for your neck. And then release and do a little counter twist. Then we'll switch over to the other side. So bring the left leg over the right and keep the leg straight, or tuck your right leg behind you. And bring your left hand back to the floor, right arm up, inhale, and then hook it on the outside of your knee. Exhale. So remember to inhale, lift, and exhale, rotate. And then release and take a little counter twist. And from here, we're going to do one more heart opener. So if you have your blocks, you can adjust the height. You can do the low, medium. You might not want to do high, that might be too much. But bring that right underneath the shoulder blades. And then you can use your other block as a pillow for your head. And you can bring your feet together, knees wide, or you might like to keep them straight. This is a nice gentle back bend for the upper body. Just settling in before we come into our Shavasana. Okay, then bring your knees together if they're apart, and slowly roll over and remove the blocks from underneath you. And then from here, we'll come into Shavasana. So come into your most relaxed pose. If you'd prefer to sit up in a seated meditation, that's fine too. So go ahead and relax into your Shavasana. Start to bring awareness back into your body. Start to make small movements. And when you're ready, bring your knees into your chest and roll over to one side using your arm as a pillow. Taking your time, go ahead and make your way up to a seated position with your eyes closed. Let's bring our hands to heart center and bow our head in gratitude. Thank you so much for joining me today. Namaste.